guys, welcome back to the channel. Just made a smoothie, and this is kind of like a getting back into a routine type of video. We've been just like basically beach hopping, or river hopping I guess too. We've been just going around to different beaches, and the kids have been enjoying the water, but we're home and I'm excited to be back in like just our space, having like all our essential things that we have. When we travel, I do try to bring certain things, like I always bring our probiotics, beef liver capsules, I literally bring our mineral salt and lemon slices for water so we can make our Nature's Gatorade on the go. Certain snacks that I make from home or prepare from home and things like that, but it's just different when you have access to all your stuff. So very happy about that. Gordy's having some of the smoothie I just made. It's really yummy. There's strawberry, banana, avocado, raw caramel milk, collagen, chia seeds, flax seeds, peanut butter. Yeah, so there's around maybe 38 grams of protein in here. It's really good. I've just been laundry. I'm prepping dinner now. I'm making rice because I'm going to make fried rice later. We just have a couple errands to run today, but nothing too crazy. As you can see, I'm laying down right now. My toddler is sleeping. We do contact naps still, and I'm in my 3rd trimester, so I'm in bed, so hopefully that's not distracting. But I wanted to talk about something that's kind of polarizing and controversial, but my last video about balancing hormones did so well, so I wanted to talk about just home birth and, well, not home birth, I wanted to talk about birth in general. So I wanted to talk about the benefits of unmedicated and natural birth, so no epidural. With my first, I've posted about it here, but we had a natural unmedicated home birth and had a really positive experience, but I more so wanted to talk about just the benefits of unmedicated and planned, prepped for unmedicated birth. I feel like there will be this narrative that people will have, and they'll be like, oh, you don't get a reward for having an unmedicated birth or not getting an epidural, or people just feel like people do it for bragging rights, and I can assure you that people or women do not put themselves through that much pain just for bragging rights. There are definitely benefits for having an unmedicated birth, and I think especially like in a hospital setting, I think it's about like 97 to 99% of women choose to birth in a hospital just because that's what's normal, that's what everyone does, and there can be just a cascade of interventions at a hospital and that make getting an epidural just easier. Even for, I'll hear women talk about how they were planning on not getting an epidural. They wanted to do it naturally, but because of the setting that they were in, or maybe they didn't fully prepare for it. There are things that you do physically to prepare, but in my experience, I feel like a lot of it is mental and just having the right environment and birth team and support around you. Okay, number one of the benefits of not having an epidural during childbirth is that doing it naturally encourages the necessary natural hormones to produce in your body. So you experience during childbirth is natural hormone release, so oxytocin, which is also called the love hormone. It's really important. It helps you during childbirth. It signals your body that it's time to help baby be delivered, and 2, it helps right away with milk production. So one thing that they have done studies on is that epidurals can harm or just disrupt the flow of natural hormone production or the natural production of oxytocin, and that's why some moms, and even if you don't get an epidural, some moms who don't get an epidural still have trouble in the transition and with breastfeeding, but studies have found that women who get an epidural can have difficulty with breastfeeding after, because oxytocin is really crucial for bonding between mom and baby and the breastfeeding process. When you get an epidural, usually you're not able to move around as much because you're having constant monitoring of your baby's vitals and yourself. And after you get the epidural in, you're usually just stuck to the hospital bed, which can prolong labor. So if you can't move around, say your baby is not in an optimal position, you can't move around or breathe through your contractions, help your labor progress, and that's why a lot of labor gets prolonged. And there are other interventions that happen from that. So instrument use, to undergo through an episiotomy, which is where they kind of cut you open a little bit while you're pushing if your labor is prolonged or they feel like the baby's stuck or not in an optimal position, or transfer you to C-section. So not being able to move around does make labor a little bit difficult and can really prolong labor. Number 3, there are a lot of different side effects to epidurals. For example, some women have, even years later, back problems from their epidural, but I want to talk about more of a common one that has to do with baby. So it can really affect baby's blood pressure. There are several studies done on this where epidurals put baby under stress and affect their blood pressure or heart rate, and that leads into another host of interventions like instrument use, like I said, C-section, just prolonged labor. Or this is what happens when people are in hospital, and you hear a lot where they're like, oh, the baby was in distress, so we had to kind of hurry to get him or her out. That's one side effect of an epidural. And also, when you sign these things, I'm pretty sure, I don't know because I didn't have a hospital birth, but when you sign off on these medications, I'm pretty sure they do list out this stuff, but I think because of the setting and not having enough time to sit there and talk to you about side effects, implications, and having actual informed true consent on what you're signing up for. So I think that it's really important as women to have this information. I feel like a lot of what pregnancy and birth and postpartum is supposed to be like, and that type of support and knowledge is really lost. We don't have a lot of ancestors or guides anymore who have this knowledge. Even, for example, like babies who are breech, there are not a lot of, like, even OBGYNs, they have a study on this, that a lot of OBGYNs are not skilled in breech births anymore. So that's one of the causes of the rise in C-sections. So I think as women, it's really important to have this information and to have actual true informed consent. Okay, my toddler woke up, so I had to stop filming. But the last thing that I want to talk about that is a benefit of unmedicated natural birth is minimizing perineal tearing and speeding up healing. So obviously you can't just say that because you don't get an epidural you're not going to tear. Women who don't get epidural still tear. There's so many other factors like your positioning and the way you push. But the thing is, so if you have an epidural and you can't feel anything down there and you're just pushing, you can't feel when, like, those burning sensations, or when you're about to tear, or when you should be taking a deep breath and breathing your baby out instead of continuing to push. It's proven that when you do breathing while pushing, it helps give you time to stretch out and to breathe baby down instead of just pushing. So I have seen just recently that a lot of people have been getting 2nd or 3rd degree tears because they don't feel anything down there, and because their provider does coached pushing instead of, perineal support, and telling them when they need to breathe instead of continuing to push. So with my first birth, I didn't tear. I was in a squatting position, and my midwives really helped with perineal support with just a warm towel. Actually, they didn't use a warm towel. They just, with my consent, placed their hands on my perineal to support that area while I was pushing, and I was able to feel the sensation, so I knew when to take a breath and to take a pause and breathe instead of just pushing. And I really feel like it's because I was able to feel everything down there. So yeah, those are some benefits to not having an epidural and having an unmedicated natural birth. Obviously it's your choice, but I think the important thing is just having the knowledge. A lot of people don't have the knowledge on side effects or pros and cons to both natural and unnatural or in unmedicated births. And I feel like as women we are all entitled to that information, and we all deserve to know so that we can make actual true informed decisions and have true informed consent in our birthing process. So yeah, more to come on that. Bye baby. I'm very passionate about stuff like this, so I love to share. I share a lot about this on my Instagram, Homemade Wellth, WELLTH. Go ahead and follow along there if you want to know more information or just knowledge and resources on natural birthing, home birth, breastfeeding, holistic nutrition and wellness for mom and baby. And thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.